أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Okay, still on our topic, the subject of ممنوع من الصرف, ممنوع من الصرف, because we are talking about al-ism al-munsarif, nouns that take tanween. And so we have to know nouns. We are talking about ism al-munsarif wa ismun غير المنصرف, those that accept tanween and those that do not accept tanween. And so in that case, we are trying to know what kind of nouns do not accept tanween, because the generality is al-ism munsarif. All we know is that nouns take tanween. It is part of the science of a noun that it takes tanween. And so we being told that nouns do not take tanween, some nouns do not take tanween, and they are called غير المنصرف or ممنوع من الصرف, then we need to know why are they ممنوع من الصرف. Why don't they take the tanween? They are the peculiar case we are studying now. And we said that we have some factors that makes a noun ممنوع من الصرف, and that we said Ibn Malik gathered them in one. We said that it is all this ممنوع من الصرف has been gathered into a verse of a poem by a poet, an unknown poet, or let me say at least we don't know him per the book we are studying. Okay, and this bite is what we've been treating, trying to know the factors that cause a noun not to take tanween. And that the first one is ijma, which is any word that is on the jamu sigat muntaha al-jumu, any word that has the formula of sigat muntaha al-jumu, which is mafa'il, mafa'il, or fawa'il, or fawa'il. And now that has this rhyme does not take tanween, and so when it is majroor, it does not take kasra. Okay, and we talked about wazin. When we talked about wazin, and we said the wazin refers to the wazn al-fa'il, any noun that has the meter of a verb, like ahmadu. Ahmadu has the formula of af'alu, like fi'l mudari. And things like akramu. Akramu is a name of a person, but it's also a verb, akramu. So it's when it has the formula of a verb like that, in that case we don't give it tanween. Okay, so that is the two we did, ijma'a, and we did the zin. So we are now going to look at adilan. The whole verse is ijma wa zin adilan annith bima'arifatin rakib wa zid ujmatan fal wasfu qad kamula. Okay, so we are on the third one, which is adilan, and that is the Thalith, and that is where we are starting from today. Okay, so he says Thalithan, thirdly, Adilan. Adilan, when we use it as a human name, it means somebody who is just, somebody who is who has adl, who has the attitude of fairness or justice. Okay, so he says قال أهل النحو, the people of grammar, the scholars of grammar have said that this means يعني ما كان المانع فيه العدل. This refers to words whose factor that prohibits them from taking tanween is adlu. And adlu means changing something, switching the original form of something. So he says يعني عدل من شيء إلى آخر. It has been changed from one thing to another. That is, the form of a word has been twisted. Okay, yani again, he's explaining again. Min waznin ila waznin, from one meter to another, forcing the meter of a verb, of a word, to change to another meter. And he will give us examples. Still, it's not so clear, but he will give us examples. He says, وَيَكُونُ alaman, وَيَكُونُ sifatan. We've already seen alam, what alam is, proper noun, and sifatan, or an adjective. Okay, يعني يكون في الأعلام فيكون المانع من الصرف العالمية والعدل. So the factor is not just al-adl alone, that is the changing alone. It is the word is a proper noun plus it has been twisted. Then we say its factor that is prohibiting it from taking the tanween is al-alamiyya, it being proper noun, wal-adla, and the changes and the twisting. That's why it says yakunu fil alam. If it is in the proper nouns, alam bimana jamu alam is the plural of alam. So if it is, the word is part of the proper nouns, then we say that the factor that is prohibiting it from taking the tanween is al-alamiyya and then al-adl. Okay, so it says وَيَكُونُ فِي الْأَوْصَافِ, and if it is part of the sifa, awsaf bimana jam'u sifa, if it is part of the adjectives, we say that فَيَكُونُ الْمَانِعُ مِنَ الصَّرْفِ, then the factor that is prohibiting it from taking the tanween is al-wasfiyya. Al-wasfiyya, the fact that it is having it is an adjective, ay al-wasfiyyata, al-wasfiyyata, being an adjective, wal-adla, and also being twisted. فلا بد مع العدل من إضافة إلة أخرى. So definitely it can't be adl alone as the factor. The factor must be alamiyya أو wasfiyya. Okay, so it says فلا بد مع العدل, definitely there must be with adl من إضافة إلة أخرى, another illa, which is a factor, another factor must be added. So you have, so it says وفي العالمية أو الوصفية, it is either العالمية والعدل or الوصفية والعدل. Okay, example, it says مثاله في الأعلام, example of the adl in proper nouns is the word, the noun Omar. Omar is a proper noun. It says دائما نقرأ, always we read وعن عمر بن خطاب, وعن عمر بن الخطاب, always we read it like that. We don't say وعن عمر ibn Khattab, we don't say that, this is wrong. وعن عمر, even though an is a preposition. Okay, so he says لماذا قلنا عمر, why did we say عمر? لأنه اسم لا ينصرف, because it is a noun that does not take tanween. وما المانع له من الصرف, and what is preventing it from taking the tanween? العالمية, it being a proper noun, والعدل, and its formula being twisted. He will tell us why he's saying Omar is twisted. Okay, لأن الأصل, because the root of Omar is amirun. Amirun, that is a person who is in authority. You know, imara, kind of a kingdom. And we say amirun, the one in charge. So the word actually is amirun, the meter being fa'ilun, from amara, amirun. And so Umar is a twisted form of amir. The meter amir or the meter fa'il has been twisted to fu'al. فَعُدِلَ مِنْ آمِرٍ, it has been changed from آمِرٍ إِلَى عُمَرَ. So you look at it, you see that the Amir is taking kasratain, it's taking the kasra, and it is even taking the tanween, because it is the original formula of the word fa'il. But when it says ila, then you see umara with fatha. That means the twisted form cannot be given the kasra. So he says idhan al-alamiyatu wal-adlu. Then the factor is the fact that Omar is a proper noun and it has been twisted from its original format. Okay, he says yujadu najmun yusamma, there is a star in the sky, yusamma, which is called zuhal. Zuhal, the star is called zuhal. A'la sayyarat as-sab'a, it is the highest of the seven. This sayyarat as-sab'a is it astronomical term or something? It's one of the terminologies they give to this what's it called? These stars and this whatever in the sky. It says it is the highest of the sayyarat as-sab'a in the qudama. The ancient people, they used to have in-depth knowledge of the what's it called? This astronomy. They used to have a very in-depth knowledge of astronomy, and so they knew about some sayyarat as-sab'a, and they are saying that this sayyarat, Zuhal is the highest part, and it's the sayyarat has to do with the stars. Okay, then it says that فنقول, we say نظرت إلى زحل, نظرت إلى زحل أو زحل. Do we say نظرت إلى زحل or زهرة? Okay, so here he answers and he says الصحيح زحل, الصحيح زحل. That is, we can't say zuhalin, we have to say zuhala. That's why he says as-sahihu zuhala with fatha, because the word does not take kasra. He says limaza, why are we saying zuhala? Because ila, since ila is there, why don't we say ila zuhalin? So he's saying li'annahu alamun, because it is a proper noun, ma'dulun. It's a proper noun that has been twisted. And zahilin, the original word is zahilin, fa'ilin. فصار ممنوعا من الصرف, because it has been twisted. فصار, it then became ممنوعا من الصرف, prohibited from taking tanween. للعالمية, for the reason that it is a proper noun. والعدل, and also because it has been twisted, its original format has been twisted. Okay. ويقال, and it is said حسب كلام أهل الحيئة الأقدمين. What's it called? As-sayyara is also another noun, another name for kawkab, like planet. So they say in sayyarat as-sab'a, we can say the 7 planets. The Zuhal, to the old people of ancient time, the Zuhal is the highest planet. Okay. He says, وَيُقَالُ حَسْبَ كَلَامِ أَهْلِ الْحَيْئَةِ الْأَقْدَمِينَ. The people of old times who used to deal in astronomy and all that, the Islamic scholars who used to deal in astronomy, they had a name they give to, I think, the planets. They have, and they've made that into a bait. And this is the bait we are seeing here. So these are the names of the planets. So they say, زحل شرى مريخه من شمسه فتظاهرت بعطارد الأقمار. So this is the names of the stars, or let's say the names of the astronomical bodies that they've arranged like that. So it says tartibun, in arranging it, tartibun tanazuli, in descending order. Zuhal is the first, A'laha, which is the highest. And Shara actually represents Al-Mushtari. One of the planets is called Mushtari, or let's say one of the stars. They use the name interchangeably, either a star or a planet. Okay, so Shara represents Al-Mushtari, which is the next after Zuhal. And Murrihahu is the planet Al-Murrih. Min Shamsihi is also Ash-Shams, the sun. For Tazaharat, Az-Zahratu is also one of the planets, and it is the next. Bi'utarida, Utaridu is also one of the planets, Utaridu. Al-Aqmar, ay Al-Qamar, the moon. Huwa asfaluha, and it is the lowest. Ay asfalu sayyarat as-sab'a, it is the lowest of the 7 planets. So this is just a side knowledge he just brought in here, just to tell us about the Zuhal and his astronomical bodies. Okay. So it says, قُلْنَا إِنَّ الْعَدْلَ. We said that the twisting or the changing, يَكُونُ فِي الْعَالَمِ. It can be in proper nouns. فَتَقُولُ So that you say al-mani'u min as-sarf al-'alamiyyatu wal-'adlu. So that you say the factor that is causing it from not taking the tanween is because it's a proper noun, and also it is having a twisted meter. Okay, يكون في الأوصاف. It can also be in the adjectives. فيكون المانع له من الصرف الوصفية والعدل. مثال أخر. Okay, it can also be an adjective. Sometimes the word that is ممنوع من الصرف is an adjective and it has also been changed. It is معدول. The meter has been changed. Okay, so it says example of the wasfiyya, that has been changed. A sifa that has been twisted, has a twisted meter. One of them is ukhar. The word ukhar says, قال الله تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. So if you are not able to fast in its original days, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ, then count other days, then use other days to do it. So ayyamin ukhar is a sifa for ayyam. Is a sifa for ayyam. So it says walam yakul ukharin. The verse, if you check it, it didn't come ukharin with kasratain. Even though it was describing ayyamin, it should have come ukharin. But why? Ma'a anna ukhar, even though ukhar majruratun is majrur in grammatical analysis or in i'rab, ukhar will be said to be majrura. But why are we not giving it kasra? It says li'annaha sifatun li'ayyam, because it is an adjective to ayyam. He is saying it is majrur li'annaha sifatun li'ayyam. It is an adjective, it is majrur, it is supposed to take kasra. Why? Because it's an adjective for ayyamin, and ayyamin majruratun is majrur bimin. Because of the min preposition, the word ayyam took kasra, and so if a word is supposed to describe ayyam, the word should also take kasra. ولكن قال عز وجل, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said min ayyamin ukhar, and ayyamin came with kasra, but ukhar came with fatha. Why is that so? It says al-mani'u laha min as-sarf, that which is preventing it from taking the tanween is al-wasfiyyatu, the fact that it is an adjective, wal-adlu, and the fact that it has been twisted. Okay, twisted from what? Ma'dulatun an maza. From what meter was ukhar twisted from? He says ma qalu an ukharin, qalu ma'dulatin anil akhari, an ukhari. Okay, they said, they didn't say ukharin, they didn't call it ukharin. Qalu ma'dulatin anil ukhari, they said it has been twisted from the meter al ukhari. Asluha al ukhari, its basic form, its root is al ukhari. فالله أعلم هل هي هذه أو معدولة عن الآخر. He said Allah knows best. Is it this one that they've said al-ukhar? Because al-ukhar is the same as the ukhar we are seeing. We can't say the word ukhar has been twisted from ukhar. It doesn't even make sense. Okay, so he said أو معدولة عن الآخر, has it been twisted from آخر. Okay, then he says على كل حال الأخر ممنوعة من الصرف. In any case, أخر is ممنوع من الصرف. The word أخر is ممنوع من الصرف. والمانع لها من الصرف الوصفية والعدل. That which is preventing it from taking the tanween is al-wasfiyya, to the fact that it is an adjective, and also it's having its meter twisted. Now let me go out of the book and explain this ukhar thing, because the book, I think he didn't really explain it much. Okay, so in Ibn Aqil, as you look in Ibn Aqil under this particular topic, ممنوع من الصرف, he says something like ومما يمنع من الصرف للعدل والوصفة أخرى. Among the words that are ممنوع من الصرف is that which is ممنوع من الصرف due to the fact that it's an adjective and its meter has been twisted. That's why he says ومما يمنع من الصرف للعدل والوصفة أخر. The word أخر has been forbidden from taking tanween because it is an adjective and also its meter has been twisted. He says التي في قولك, that which is in your saying when you say مررت بنسوة أخرى, I passed by some ladies, some other ladies. أخرى is adjective for niswa, but you say مررت بنسوة, then you say أخرى. So أخرى is ممنوع من الصرف وهو معدول عن الآخر. So we realize that in Ibn Aqil he states that the word أخر has been twisted from the meter آخر. The meter is not fu'al as in أخر. The meter is آخر as in fa'al. And it was twisted to become أخر. He says, explaining more, he says Al-Adlu, the word Adl, هو تحويل الاسم من وزن إلى وزن آخر, as defined by the book. When we say Adl, it means changing a noun from one meter to another meter. Okay, so he says Al-Kalimatu Ukhar, the word Ukhar ala wazn fu'al is on the meter fu'al. Ma'dulatun an kalimati akhar ala wazni fa'al. The word fu'al or the word Ukhar has been twisted from the meter or from the word akhar, which is on the meter fa'al. Al-kalimatu Ukhar jam'u lil mufrada أخرى. The أخر is the plural of أخرى. وكلمة أخرى مؤنث مذكر. مذكره آخر. This is not in the book. This is outside the book. Okay, so the word أخرى is feminine and its masculine is آخر. And the word آخر is اسم تفضيل. It's a name, a noun of preference. All this, I think we will come to see it, inshallah, in the course of our studies. Ala wazn af'al, a verb, if it's on the meter af'al, then the verb is said to be a verb of preference, like akram, ahsan, atwal, ajmal. They are all on the meter af'al. So it says akhar is also on the same meter as these verbs. So it's on the meter of ismu tafdil, which is af'al. Akram, Ahsan, Ajmal, words like that. Okay. Then he says, كما هو معلوم, as it is known, فإن اسم التفضيل المجرد من ال والإضافة يستعمل دائما مفردا مذكرا. As it is known, this is a bit complicated. And now, if اسم التفضيل, if any noun comes on the meter of ismu tafdil, which is af'al, we need to follow this carefully. If a verb or a noun comes on the meter of tafdil, which is af'al, like words like afdal, ahsan, akram, ajmal, these words, if they don't come with alif and lam, and also they don't come as mudaf, then it is used always as singular. يستعمل دائما مفردا مذكرا. It should always be used as singular and masculine. So in any case, it should be آخر. If it doesn't have alif or lam, don't make it plural. It should be used singular, masculine. Now what is happening here is that it says فلا يثنى ولا يجمع ولا يؤنث. Nakul, we don't make it dual, we don't make it plural, we don't make it feminine, we just use the singular. He says we use stuff like at-tullabul mujtahidun, the hardworking students, afdalu min al-kusala, they are better than the lazy ones. Here you realize that we use afdalu, we didn't say afdalun, or we didn't find the plural of afdal, afadil or something like that. We didn't find the plural, we just use the singular. Says at-tullabul mujtahidun afdalu min al-kusala. Again, الطالب المجتهد, we still say أفضل من الكسالى. Hardworking students are better than the lazy ones. الطالب المجتهد أفضل من الكسول. So you realize that the أفضل is still singular. We say الطالبة المجتهدة, the hardworking feminine student or the female student. We still say أفضل. We don't say أفضلة. من الطلبة الكسول. So when you use اسم التفضيل, any word on the meter of اسم التفضيل, which is أفعل, we don't make it dual or plural or feminine if it doesn't have alif and lam and it is not mudaf. Okay, he says نجد في هذه الأمثلة بقاء اسم أو بقاء اسم التفضيل في حال الإفراد. We realize that in all these examples I just read, the اسم التفضيل is singular throughout. طبقا لذلك, following that, كان يفترض أن تبقى آخر. Since آخر is also on the meter أفعل, then it is most expedient that it stayed في حال الإفراد. It should have stayed singular. أي أن يقال, you should say نساء آخر, other women. It should come like this. لكن الذي حدث, but what happened is that أنها جمعت خلافا للقاعدة. It is made plural as against the law. The law that اسم التفضيل does not go feminine or plural if it doesn't have alif or lam or it is not mudaf. So he says وعُدل باللفظ من آخر إلى أخر. So the word آخر was twisted to أخر, trying to catch a plural, trying to make a plural out of it. ولذلك جاءت ممنوعة من الصرف. ولذلك جاءت ممنوعة من الصرف. And so we realize that it has been made prohibited from taking tanween because the root should be آخر, but it was twisted and made plural and said to be that of feminine plural, أخر. And since it has been twisted, then it has no right of taking tanween again. Okay, back to our book. It says ومن ذلك أي ومن الوصفية والعدل, that which is an adjective and has been twisted. We have the word مثنى وثلاث ورباع. قال تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said أولي أجنحة مثنى أولي أجنحة مثنى وثلاث ورباع. Angels, talking about angels with wings that has been folded in doubles and in triples and in, is it quadruple or whatever. أجنحة is majrura. It is having كسرة. بماذا? What made it take the كسرة? بالإضافة, because it is مضاف إليه. أولي أجنحة. أجنحة is مضاف إليه. And وعلامة الجر الكسرة, and the sign of its jar is the كسرة we are seeing. أجنحة. مثنى وثلاث ورباع. هذه بدل. These words came as badal. Badal in Arabic language, when something can replace another word. Like if you say هذا الولد, هذا الولد, the هذا is pointing to the guy, is pointing to the boy. Al-waladu is also pointing to the boy. So al-waladu is a badal for هذا. When one word comes after another and it can replace it completely, we call it badal. Badal means a substitute. He says mathna wa thulas wa ruba'. These are badal. And in Nahu, badal is supposed to take the same grammatical ruling as the word it comes after. He says wa ma'a dhalika, and even though it is a badal, maftuhatun, wa ma'a dhalika, and however it is maftuha, it is having fatha. We read uli ajnihatin mathna wa thulatha fatha wa ruba'a fatha. Why? It says لأنها لا تنصرف, because it is ممنوع من الصرف. so it can take kasra. فَمَا الْمَانِعُ لَهَا مِنَ الصَّرْفِ, what is preventing it from taking the tanween? قالوا, they said, the scholars said, الْوَصْفِيَّةُ وَالْعَدْلُ, the fact that mathna, thulat, wa ruba are adjectives, وَالْعَدْلُ, and also they have been twisted. كيف الوصفية والعدل? Why is it an adjective and also it has been twisted? He's coming to explain that concept to us. He says الوصفية لأنها وصف. It is wasfiyya because it is describing the wings. Ajniha means wings of the angels. So he's saying that mathna wa sulas wa ruba, they are coming to describe the wings, its number. Okay. So in that case, they are wasfun, they are adjectives. And ayyi shay'in udilat, and from which meter, original meter, was it twisted from? Qalu, the scholars have said, mathna ma'dulatun an ithnain. The word mathna has been twisted from the original ithnain, that is 2 by 2. And thulasa is thalathatin, 3 by 3. Ruba' has also been twisted from arba'atin, 4 or let's say 4 by 4. Then al-mani'u laha min as-sarf al-wasfiyyatu wal-adl. Then we can confidently say that since mathna has been taken from isnain, sulasa has been taken from thalatha, and then ruba has been taken from arba, then we realize that the mathna wa thulath wa ruba, they are awzanun ma'dula. They are meters that have been twisted from its original. Okay. We will end it here, but in case there is, this concept is a bit, today's one has been a bit critical, has been a bit tactical, or let me say very deep, a bit somehow deep. So in case there is anything that is unclear, we clarify it together, inshallah. Inshallah, I pray Allah grants us beneficial knowledge, makes our knowledge beneficial to the ummah at large. Allahumma allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين يا رب موسى وهارون وإيسى ومحمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أكرمنا بقوة الحفظ والفهم والمعرفة والحكمة آمين. سبحان